For 18 years, I was the unlost wild child of the wealthy Shin family. When I was 3 years old, I was mistakenly swapped with the rich family's biological daughter in the hospital. For 18 years, I grew up in a poor, dilapidated alley, suffering from hunger, cold, and endless domestic violence from my vulgar adoptive parents. Meanwhile, Shin Sinyu, the fake daughter who took my place, lived in a luxury villa, wore designer clothes, received top-tier education, and was doted on by the entire Shin family. 18 years later, the hospital's old medical records were sorted out, and the truth of the swap was exposed. The Shin family found me, their long-lost biological daughter, Shinwan. I thought I was finally going to get out of the quagmire of poverty and abuse, to have my own family, to get the warmth and protection I had never had in my life. I was naive. The Shin family didn't want me back. They only wanted to make up for their so-called guilt and save their reputation in the upper-class circle. In their eyes, I am just a rustic, ignorant substitute who broke into their perfect wealthy family. And Shin Sinyu, the fake daughter who has occupied my identity and wealth for 18 years, is the precious daughter they truly love. Since I returned to the Shin family half a year ago, I have been the family's universal scapegoat. My parents favor the fake daughter unconditionally, and my elder brother Shen helps protect Shin Sinyu in everything. My grandparents are harsh and mean to me, thinking I am uncultured and unworthy of the Shin family's blood. Shin Sinyu is a top-tier green tea, soft and sweet on the surface, but vicious and scheming underneath. She pretends to be sensible and generous in front of the family, secretly framing me, stealing my things, smearing my reputation, and making me bear all the mistakes she made. The whole family bullies me together, coaxing me to give in, to be tolerant, to make way for Shin Sinyu, who has lived in the family for 18 years and has deep feelings. They said, Sinyu is used to living a wealthy life. She can't bear hardship. You have suffered for 18 years, so what if you give her more? They said, the family has loved Sinyu for 18 years. Feelings can't be erased. You are the real daughter. You should be more magnanimous. For half a year, I endured all the targeting, isolation, and framing silently, foolishly expecting a trace of family affection. Until tonight's 18th birthday banquet, the coming-of-age ceremony that belonged to me originally completely crushed my last illusion. On my official coming-of-age banquet, the entire Shin family's relatives and upper-class guests gathered together, but the protagonist of the banquet was not me, the real blood-related daughter. It was Shin Sinyu. And tonight, I completely awakened. No more cowardice, no more compromise, no more longing for the false family affection of this toxic family. Since they are all willing to favor a fake daughter and bully their own blood and bone, then I will tear off all their hypocritical masks, completely break off the family relationship, take back all my wealth and identity, and let the entire Shin family fall into endless regret and crematorium for a lifetime. Hashtag Chapter 1 The Coming of Age Banquet Humiliation. Final disillusionment. The Shin family's grand coming-of-age banquet is held in the most luxurious 5-star hotel in City S. The entire banquet hall is decorated with custom-made roses and crystal ornaments. Countless luxury gifts are piled up in the corner, and all the famous families in the city are present to congratulate. This banquet was originally prepared by the Shin family for me, the long-lost real daughter Shinwan, to make up for my 18 years of grievance and let me officially enter the upper-class circle. But at this moment, the person standing in the center of the spotlight, wearing a custom pink haute couture dress, wearing a full set of diamond jewelry, and receiving everyone's blessings and compliments is Shin Sinyu. She smiled sweetly, her eyes curved like crescent moons, humble and sensible. Thank you all for coming to my birthday banquet. I'm really lucky to be loved by my family and elders. The surrounding guests praised one after another. Miss Shin is really gentle and lovely. The little princess of the Shin family is well-deserved. Sensible, generous, and well-bred. No wonder the whole Shin family dotes on her so much. The Shin family's daughter is indeed the most outstanding young lady in City S. I stood silently in the darkest corner of the banquet hall, wearing the most plain and ordinary white dress, with no makeup, no jewelry, like an irrelevant transparent person. No one greeted me. No one paid attention to me. Even the waiters passing by would deliberately avoid my position, as if I was an embarrassment to the entire banquet. My mother walked over with a cold face, her voice full of reproach and dissatisfaction, without a trace of maternal tenderness. Shinwan, what are you doing hiding here? Hurry up and come out to greet the guests. Look at Sinyu, how generous and decent she is. Look at you, dull and rustic. You lose all the face of the Shin family. I raised my eyes and looked at the woman who gave birth to me, but had never loved me for a day. For half a year after I returned home, she never smiled at me. All her tenderness and doting were given to the fake daughter Shin Sinyu. I whispered, Mom, today is my coming-of-age birthday. My mother's face turned colder, and she scolded me sharply in a low voice, fearing that others would hear and lose face. What's yours and mine? Sinyu has celebrated her birthday with us for 18 years. This banquet has always been hers. You have only been back for half a year. Why are you so narrow-minded and jealous? Can't you be more tolerant to your sister? Sister. A ridiculous and disgusting title. She is just a stranger who swapped my life for 18 years, but she has become the beloved daughter of the family, while I, the real daughter, have to be humble and tolerant and give way everywhere. Before I could speak, my elder brother Shunhao strode over, stood in front of me protectively, and looked at me with disgust and warning in his eyes. Shunwan, don't make trouble at the banquet. Sinyu has been spoiled by us since childhood. It's normal for her to be the protagonist today. You are the elder sister. You should take the initiative to give way to her. Don't be petty and affect the family's reputation. I stared at my elder brother, who had never protected me once, and my heart was completely cold. In the past 6 months, whenever Shin Sinyu framed me, he would blindly favor the fake daughter. Whenever I was wronged and argued, he would accuse me of being unreasonable and jealous. Just last week, Shin Sinyu secretly broke the antique bracelet left by my grandmother's ancestors and framed it on me. He didn't listen to any explanation, scolded me for being clumsy and ungrateful, and directly confined me to my room for 3 days without allowing me to eat. I endured all these grievances silently before, always thinking that blood is thicker than water, and as long as I am obedient and sensible, the family will see my goodness one day. Now I finally understand. Some family affection is not worth longing for at all. Just as my heart was completely chilled, Shin Sinyu walked over gracefully with a glass of red wine, her eyes red and wet, looking extremely aggrieved and sensible. She took my hand gently, her voice soft and delicate, enough for the surrounding guests to hear clearly. Sister Wan, don't be angry. I know today is your birthday too. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have occupied the protagonist position. If you are unhappy, I will step down right now, and I won't attend the banquet anymore. As she spoke, her eyes filled with tears, and she looked like she was wronged and helpless. The surrounding guests immediately started discussing, their eyes full of disapproval and accusation towards me. What's wrong with this mission? She's so mean to her sister. Sinyu is so sensible and humble, but her own sister is jealous of her everywhere. No wonder the family dotes on Sinyu more. This real daughter is really too narrow-minded. All the accusations and strange eyes fell on me in an instant. My mother immediately pulled Shin Sinyu into her arms, distressed and angry. My poor baby, don't apologize to her. It's not your fault at all. It's Shunwan who is ignorant and making trouble for no reason. Shunhao also frowned and reprimanded me severely. Shunwan apologized to Sinyu immediately. Hurry up! Don't be shameless! Facing the whole family's indiscriminate favoritism and the crowd's accusations, I finally stopped suppressing the disgust in my heart. The cowardly, longing, and humble Shunwan who compromised for family affection is completely dead from today on. I raised my head slowly. My originally dull eyes suddenly became cold and sharp, and the corners of my mouth raised a faint, sarcastic smile. Chapter 2 public face slapping exposed the fake daughter's true face. Apologize. My voice was clear and cold, breaking through the noisy discussion of the crowd, and the entire banquet hall suddenly fell silent. Everyone was stunned, looking at me in disbelief. In their impression, Shunwan has always been timid, introverted, and submissive, never daring to refute the family, let alone speak coldly in public. Shin Sinyu's tears froze on her face. She looked at me in surprise, with a trace of uneasiness in her eyes, but she quickly adjusted her expression and continued to pretend to be aggrieved. Sister Wan, I know you are unhappy, but you don't have to be like this. I really don't mean to rob your birthday. Stop pretending. I interrupted her directly, my eyes cold and piercing, sweeping across her hypocritical face. Shin Sinyu, you have been pretending to be sensible and humble in front of everyone for 18 years, playing the good daughter and good sister. But how many dirty things have you done behind your back? Do you need me to count them one by one for all the guests present today? As soon as my words fell, the crowd was in an uproar. Shin Sinyu's face turned pale in an instant, and her hands trembled slightly. Sister Wan, what are you talking about? I don't understand. My mother was extremely angry, pointing at my nose and scolding sharply. Shunwan, are you crazy? What nonsense are you spouting at the banquet? Hurry up and shut up and apologize to Sinyu. Shunhao also stepped forward aggressively, wanting to pull me away and force me to apologize. Don't make a fool of yourself here. If you mess up the banquet, I'll never forgive you. I raised my hand to block his movement, my strength far exceeding their imagination. I have endured beatings and hardships in the alley for 18 years, and my physique and will are far stronger than these pampered, wealthy children. How can Shunhao, who has been spoiled since childhood, be my opponent? I glanced coldly at my parents and elder brother and said word by word. You all favor her blindly, protect her unconditionally, and even wrong me again and again for her. Today I will let you all see clearly what kind of person the daughter you have doted on for 18 years is. I took out my mobile phone and directly projected the stored videos and chat records on the banquet's large LED screen. The bright screen instantly attracted everyone's attention. The first video is the surveillance footage of the study last week. In the video, Shinsinyu sneaked into the study alone, deliberately took out the precious antique bracelet, threw it on the ground and smashed it, then quietly put my hair on the broken bracelet and wiped her own fingerprints clean, perfectly framing me for breaking the ancestral treasure. The whole process is clear and unedited. Every frame records her vicious scheming. The crowd was completely shocked. It's fake. It's all Miss Shinsinyu's own doing. She deliberately framed her own sister. She's too scheming. No wonder the real daughter was wronged and confined for 3 days. It's all a misunderstanding caused by her framing. Shinsinyu's legs softened instantly, and she almost fell to the ground. She shook her head frantically, tears streaming down her face. No! This is synthetic. It's fake. Sister One deliberately edited the video to slander me. Fake! I sneered and continued to project the second piece of evidence. It is the chat record of Shinsinyu in the private socialite group. In the group, she completely removed her gentle and sensible disguise and slandered me wantonly in front of other socialites. That rustic real daughter is so annoying, she always stares at my things greedily, trying to snatch my family's favor. My parents and brother are all on my side. She can't compete with me at all. She can only be a transparent person in the Shin family for the rest of her life. I will never give up the Shin family's daughter's identity and wealth. She deserves to suffer in the alley for a lifetime. Every sentence is sharp and vicious, completely exposing her jealous and selfish true nature. Then I projected the third and fourth pieces of evidence, one after another. Last month, she deliberately poured water on my admission ticket for the top youth entrepreneurship competition, causing me to miss the competition opportunity. Half a month ago, she secretly spread rumors in the upper class circle, saying that I grew up in a poor alley, had bad conduct, and was vulgar and uneducated. A week ago, she even bribed my part-time colleagues to isolate and exclude me. All the evidence is solid and irrefutable, completely tearing off her white lotus disguise in front of all the guests and relatives. The entire banquet hall was completely boiling, and the public opinion reversed completely in an instant. Everyone looked at Shinsinyu with disdain and shock, and then looked at me with pity and apology. No one expected that the always gentle and sensible Miss Shinsinyu is a scheming, vicious, and selfish hypocrite. And the so-called narrow-minded and jealous real daughter, Shin-Won, has been enduring endless framing and grievance silently. Shinsinyu collapsed completely, crying uncontrollably, her perfect persona shattered into pieces. Hashtag Chapter 3, the toxic family's partiality. Complete heartbreak. Faced with the ironclad evidence, my parents' and elder brother's faces were extremely ugly. They saw all the framing and scheming of Shinsinyu with their own eyes, and they knew clearly that they had wronged me severely. But even so, they still refused to admit their mistakes, and still chose to favor the fake daughter who had been with them for 18 years. My mother stepped forward quickly, hugged the crying Shinsinyu tightly, and glared at me angrily, her words still full of protection for the fake daughter. Enough, Shin-Won. Stop making trouble. Even if Sinyu did something wrong, she is still your sister. She has lived with us for 18 years, and her feelings are irreplaceable. You are so aggressive and expose her faults in public. Do you have any sisterly affection? Shun-Hao also echoed in a cold voice. That's right. It's just a few trivial mistakes. Sinyu is still young and ignorant. You are an elder sister. Why are you so ruthless and hold on to her mistakes? You are too narrow-minded and ungrateful. Father, who had been silent all the time, also frowned and looked at me with a severe expression. Shun-Wan apologized to Sinyu immediately. Today is her birthday banquet after all. You ruined the whole banquet. You are too willful. I stared at the three people who are my closest blood relatives in name, but the most unfamiliar strangers in reality, and the last trace of warmth in my heart completely dissipated. Trivial mistakes? Framing me to be wronged and confined, ruining my future opportunities, smearing my reputation, isolating my life. All of these are trivial mistakes in their eyes? And my resistance and counterattack become ruthless and narrow-minded? What a ridiculous and biased family! I laughed softly. The laughter was cold and desolate, but also full of thorough relief. 18 years of suffering, half a year of grievance and framing. In your eyes, it's all my fault for being narrow-minded. She has lived with you for 18 years, so she has deep feelings. I have suffered outside for 18 years, so I deserve to be wronged and give way. You dote on the fake daughter who stole my life, and abuse, and squeeze your own biological daughter. What right do you have to talk about family affection and sisterly affection with me? My every word resounded clearly in the silent banquet hall, hitting the hearts of every family member hard. The surrounding guests also began to discuss in a low voice, their eyes full of disapproval of the Shin family. The Shin family is too partial. It's obviously the fake daughter's fault, but they insist on making the real daughter apologize. No wonder the real daughter is cold-hearted. After being wronged like this for half a year, no one can bear it. The fake daughter occupied others' lives for 18 years and still framed and bullied others. The Shin family still protects her. This family is really too toxic. Facing the increasingly noisy public opinion, my father's face became more and more ugly. He felt that I had lost all the face of the Shin family, and his tone became more severe. Shut up! I don't allow you to slander our family in public. I raised you back, gave you food and clothing. What dissatisfaction do you have? Raise me? I raised my eyes sharply, staring straight at him. You only took me back half a year ago, just to fill the so-called family perfection and save your reputation. For 18 years of my hardest and most difficult time, where were you? When I was beaten and scolded by my adoptive parents, starved and frozen, dropped out of school to work and make a living, where was your family affection? When I returned to the Shin family, I was framed, isolated, and wronged every day. Where was your parental love and protection? I asked 3 consecutive questions, each sentence sonorous and powerful, leaving my father speechless and pale. Shin Sinyu saw that her parents and brother could not suppress me and became even more flustered. She grabbed my mother's clothes and cried loudly. Mom, I'm scared. Sister One hates me so much. Will she drive me out of the Shin family? I have no other place to go except here. Her words awakened my mother's partiality again. She immediately hugged her tightly and looked at me with hatred. Shin One, let me tell you, Sinyu is the daughter I have raised for 18 years. I will never drive her out. Even if you are the real daughter of the Shin family, as long as I am alive, you can't bully her. If you are so unruly and unreasonable, then you can get out of the Shin family. We don't need an ungrateful daughter like you. This sentence completely broke the last thread of fetter in my heart. I looked at the woman who gave birth to me, but had no kindness, and smiled coldly and indifferently. No need to drive me away. I will leave by myself. Chapter 4 sever family relationship on the spot. Abandon toxic relatives. Under the shocked gaze of all the guests, I took a step forward, stood in the center of the banquet hall, and formally announced my decision to sever the family relationship with the entire Shin family. Today, on my 18th birthday, I, Shin Wan, formally sever all kinship with the Shin family. From today onwards, I have no parents, no elder brother, no relatives from the Shin family. The Shin family's wealth, status, reputation, and all glory and wealth, I, Shin Wan, don't want a single cent. The 18 years of blood kinship are completely broken today. From now on, the Shin family's joys and sorrows, glory and disgrace, have nothing to do with me. Every word is clear and decisive, without any hesitation or nostalgia. The entire banquet hall was completely dead silent. All the guests stared at me in shock, unable to believe their ears. She is the real daughter of the wealthy Shin family. As long as she stays in the Shin family, she can enjoy endless wealth and glory. How can she take the initiative to sever the family relationship and give up all the wealth? My parents and elder brother were also stunned on the spot, their faces full of disbelief. They thought I was just losing my temper and making a scene, and would compromise and soften after being taught a lesson. They never thought that I would directly sever the family relationship completely. My mother was the first to react. She was furious and laughed angrily. You want to sever the family relationship? Shunwan, do you know what you're talking about? Without the Shin family, you are nothing. You grew up in a poor alley. You have no ability, no connections. How do you survive in this society? Shun Hao also sneered with disdain. Don't be childish. You are relying on the Shin family to have today's status. Once you leave the Shin family, you will return to the bottom and be a humble poor person for the rest of your life. Don't regret it. They didn't believe that I could live well without the Shin family. In their eyes, I am just a rustic, incompetent poor girl who can only rely on the Shin family shelter. Even Shin Sinyu stopped crying, with a trace of complacency and malice in her eyes. She thought that as long as I left the Shin family, no one would compete with her for her identity and wealth, and she would always be the only young lady of the Shin family. I glanced at the 4 of them coldly, with no waves in my heart. Whether I can survive or not is my business. It's better than staying in your toxic family, being wronged and bullied every day, and being treated as a tool and a scapegoat. You love your fake daughter dearly, so you can spoil her for the rest of your life. I wish you and your precious daughter a happy family and eternal harmony. After speaking, I took off the delicate Shin family crest necklace on my neck and threw it on the ground in front of him. The silver necklace bounced twice on the luxurious marble floor, making a clear and broken sound, completely cutting off all ties between me and the Shin family. From now on, don't use my blood relationship to kidnap me. Don't look for me. Don't disturb me. We are strangers from now on. I turned around without looking back, stepped out of this luxurious and cold banquet hall, and walked towards the bright night outside. Behind me is the noisy and chaotic Shin family banquet, the hypocritical relatives who hurt me deeply, and the 18 years of fettered and painful past. In front of me is my free, independent, brand new future. No more compromise, no more grievance, no more longing for false family affection. From today on, I live for myself. Chapter 5, the whole family's crematorium opens. Regret erupts. After I left the banquet, the farce of the Shin family completely exploded in the upper-class circle of City S overnight. All the videos of the banquet, the evidence of Shin Sinyu's framing, and the scene of the Shin family's partial bullying of their biological daughter were wildly spread on major social platforms and wealthy circles. The public opinion completely collapsed, and the Shin family became the biggest joke in the entire city. Netizens and upper-class celebrities all condemned the Shin family's partiality and meanness, sympathized with my 18 years of grievance, and praised my decisive severance of family relationship. This is the most ruthless and real wealthy family. The fake daughter is spoiled lawlessly, and the real daughter is wronged and bullied. The Shin parents are too cold-blooded. Their own biological daughter suffers for 18 years outside, and they still protect the fake daughter who steals her life. The real daughter is so cool, severing the family relationship directly, no nostalgia at all. Such a toxic family is not worth staying for. Waiting for the Shin family's crematorium. They will definitely regret it. The Shin family's reputation was completely ruined overnight. The group's stock price plummeted by a large margin, many long-term cooperative partners terminated their cooperation one after another, and the company's capital chain was on the verge of collapse. All the socialite circles and wealthy groups cut off contact with the Shin family. No one was willing to associate with a family that bullies their own biological daughter and favors a fake daughter. The Shin family's parents finally panicked. They originally thought that after I left, I would be destitute and regretful, and take the initiative to come back to beg for forgiveness and return to the Shin family. But they never expected that my departure would bring such a devastating blow to the Shin family. What's more terrifying is that they soon found out a shocking truth. I have never been a humble and incompetent poor girl as they thought. In the 18 years of suffering in the alley, I never gave up studying and growing. I relied on my own efforts to get full scholarships all the year round, mastered multiple foreign languages, proficient in financial operation and enterprise management, and secretly accumulated a lot of connections and wealth by relying on my own vision and ability. The reason why I was willing to return to the Shin family and endure half a year of grievance was just to take a look at the family affection I had longed for 18 years. Now that I have seen through their hypocrisy and coldness, I leave thoroughly and have no nostalgia. On the contrary, Shin Sinyu, who they have spoiled for 18 years, is ignorant, arrogant, incompetent, and only knows how to pretend and scheme. She has no real ability at all and can only rely on the family's shelter to live a glamorous life. Once the family encounters a crisis, she can't help at all and even makes mistakes repeatedly and adds chaos to the family. The Shun family's parents and Shun Hao finally felt endless regret. They lost their outstanding, tough, and capable biological daughter and kept a vicious, incompetent, and scheming fake daughter. This is the biggest mistake in their lives. The whole family's crematorium officially opened. That night, my parents frantically called my phone, but I had already blacklisted all their numbers. They sent me countless messages of apology and repentance, begging me to go back, saying that they knew they were wrong and would definitely treat me well in the future, compensate me for all the grievances, and hand over all the family property to me. I never replied to a single message. Shun Hao also put down his elder brother's arrogance, went to the alley where I lived before, and waited for me day and night, wanting to apologize and make up for his mistakes. But I never appeared again. The regret of the whole family began to erode their hearts day by day. They sit in the empty luxury villa every day, looking at the things I've used, recalling every wronged look I had when I was at home, and the pain of regret becomes deeper and deeper. They finally realized that the most precious treasure they had was pushed away by themselves with their own hands. Hashtag Chapter 6 Fake Daughter's Retribution, falling from the clouds. After I left the Shin family, Shin Sinyu's good days finally came to an end. Without my existence as a contrast, all her flaws and incompetence were completely exposed. The Shin family's enterprise was in crisis, the stock price plummeted, and the funds were tight. The family no longer had the ability to spoil her wantonly and could no longer satisfy her extravagant consumption and various high-end resources. The parents who used to dote on her infinitely finally changed their faces. They no longer pampered her willfully, no longer tolerated her petty tricks, and began to be strict and cold to her. Because they knew clearly that this fake daughter can't save the family's crisis at all, and can only bring endless troubles to the family. Shun Hao also completely lost his previous protection for her. He saw the family's property shrinking day by day, and his heart was full of anger and regret. He vented all his negative emotions on Shin Sinyu. He no longer protected her everywhere, no longer excused her mistakes, and even directly scolded her for being useless and a troublemaker. Shun Sinyu, who has been spoiled and arrogant for 18 years, can't bear such a gap at all. She is used to being the center of attention, used to being surrounded by glory and doting, and can't stand the sudden indifference and blame from her family. She tried to pretend to be wronged and pitiful to win sympathy as before, but this time, no one paid any attention to her disguise. Everyone in the family knows her true face and no longer believes her hypocritical acting. The upper-class socialite circle also completely abandoned her. No one was willing to associate with a scheming fake daughter who stole others' lives and framed her own sister. All her brand endorsements and fashion resources were canceled. All her noble friends cut off contact with her, and she completely became a joke in the circle. She tried to find me secretly, wanting to beg me to go back to the Shin family, wanting to restore her previous glamorous life, but she was directly stopped by my bodyguards and had no chance to approach me at all. Later, because of her incompetence and random operation, she mistakenly signed a wrong cooperation contract, causing the Shin family enterprise to lose hundreds of millions of funds, and the capital chain was completely broken. The Shin family was on the verge of bankruptcy overnight. Faced with the huge loss and the desperate family situation, the parents finally completely despaired of Shin-Sinu. They no longer have any affection for this fake daughter who has harmed the whole family. They directly drove Shin-Sinu out of the Shin family villa, cut off all her financial support, and let her fend for herself. From a wealthy young lady who is spoiled by the whole family to a down-and-out girl with nothing, Shin-Sinu experienced the most painful fall in her life. She has no survival skills, no social experience, and is used to extravagant life. After being driven out of the Shin family, she can only live in a small, dilapidated rental house, struggling to survive. This is the most thorough retribution for her 18 years of plundering and framing. Hashtag Chapter 7 Female Counterattack Growth. Brilliant solo glory. While the Shin family was falling into decline and regret, I was soaring all the way and shining brightly. After severing the family relationship, I used my accumulated funds and connections to set up my own investment company and cultural entrepreneurship studio. With my precise vision and rigorous operation ability, I successfully invested in multiple high-potential projects, and the company's market value doubled rapidly in just a few months. I won the city's top 10 Youth Entrepreneur Award, was invited to attend various top industry summits, and became the youngest and most powerful new female entrepreneur in City S. All the elites and wealthy families who once looked down on me because of my origin took the initiative to come to cooperate with me, respect me, and admire me. I bought my own luxury apartment and luxury car by my own ability, no longer relying on anyone's shelter, no longer needing to compromise for any family affection. I travel freely, focus on my career and life, make friends with excellent people, and live a relaxed, free, and brilliant life. I no longer have the fetters of a toxic family, no longer have the grievance of being framed and bullied, and every day is full of hope and passion. During this period, the Shun family's parents and Shun Hao never stopped repenting and looking for me. They sold the villa and luxury cars to fill the company's loopholes, lowered their proud posture, and waited for me at the entrance of my company every day, wanting to apologize and reconcile with me, begging me to forgive their past mistakes and go back to the Shin family. My mother's hair turned white in a hurry, and she was no longer arrogant and cold as before. She cried and repented every day, saying that she was blind and wrong, and hoped that I could give her a chance to make up for it. My father was exhausted from running around for the company's crisis. His body collapsed, and he was often hospitalized. Before every operation, he would leave a message for me, hoping to see me for the last time. Shun Hao gave up his extravagant life, took over the crumbling company alone, worked hard every day to make up for the family's mistakes, and felt extremely guilty and regretful for the wrongs he had done to me. The whole family is trapped in endless regret and crematorium every day, suffering from the pain of losing me. But I never looked back. I have long forgiven their mistakes, but I will never forgive them, let alone reconcile with them. Forgiveness is my tolerance. Non-reconciliation is my bottom line. The hurt they brought me has already settled, and I have walked out of the quagmire completely. I don't need their apology and compensation, and I don't want to have any intersection with them anymore. Hashtag Chapter 8 Final Ending. No regret for breaking off. Brilliant alone. 1 year later, I stood on the Global Youth Entrepreneur Summit stage, accepted the highest industry honor award, and became an industry benchmark praised by the whole network. I have my own career empire, my own social circle, and my own brilliant life. I am independent, confident, powerful, and free, shining brightly in my own field. On this day, the Shun family's parents and Shun Hao also came to the summit venue, standing in the corner, watching me who is shining brightly on the stage, with tears and endless regret in their eyes. They finally saw how excellent their biological daughter is, how dazzling the child they abandoned and wronged is. They used to dislike my rusticity, hate my silence, think that I am not worthy of the Shun family's glory. But now, I have created a more brilliant glory than the Shun family by my own efforts. And the Shun family, who once stood tall, has completely declined and become a joke in the circle. After the summit ended, they blocked me at the exit again. My mother knelt down in front of me with tears streaming down her face, her voice hoarse and desperate. 1-1, Mom knows I was wrong. Mom regrets it so much. Can you forgive us? Come back home, okay? Our family can start over. My father and Shun Hao also stood aside with red eyes, full of humble pleading. I looked at the 3 haggard and aging people in front of me, my eyes calm and without any waves. I have no home for a long time. The home you guard is the home of Shin-Sinu, not mine. I have already started my new life, and I don't need to go back to the past. Your regret is your own punishment, and my brilliance is my own redemption. After speaking, I bypassed them directly and walked towards the bright sunshine outside the venue. Behind me is the endless, lifelong crematorium of the toxic family, the regret that can never be made up for, and the desolate past that has long been buried. In front of me is endless light, a brilliant future, and a free life that belongs only to me. I used to long for family affection humbly, endured endless grievance and pain, and was trapped in the fetters of blood relationship. Now I break free from all shackles, cut off all false fetters, grow independently, and shine alone. The fake daughter gets the punishment she deserves, the toxic family falls into eternal regret, and I achieve the most thorough self-redemption and counterattack. No family bondage, no emotional disturbance, no self-doubt and compromise. From the bottom of the quagmire to the top of the light, I rely entirely on myself. This is the most powerful counterattack of a sober big female lead. The villain gets retribution, the whole family repents, and I am brilliant alone, with no regrets in my life.